Yes, Bill, I understand. I understand you're upset. Yeah, relax. Don't worry. I'll talk to some. I have a friend in Houston. Yes, his name's Ken. He'll help you out and we'll get you back. I know you're the best GM for Houston. I agree. Don't worry. You made the right decisions. It didn't hurt the team at all. I mean, the trades that you did were perfect. I don't see what was wrong with it. Houston's just, I don't know, they're all messed up. But don't worry. I think we're going to get you back to Houston. Definitely. Okay? So don't you worry about it. And just because they said that your chin looks like a butthole, don't worry about that either, all right? Bill, we'll get this figured out. Don't worry. You'll be back with the Texans soon. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back again. Man, I'm still hyped up from the Bills game. We have Ken Moore. We're going to break this game down. Texans versus Titans. What's up? Whew.
Hey, what's up, man? Feeling good, man. 4-0, trying to go 5-0 against our arch rivals. So, hoping that we can bring that same energy and effort that we brought on Tuesday night. Tuesday night, that still feels weird to say that we had a game on Tuesday night.
It does. You know, it actually worked out perfect though. It wasn't bad. It started at 6. I was off already, and it didn't end late. It ended at 9:30ish. No, 8:30, and I was okay with that. I got to sleep, even though I had to wake up 2 in the morning. I wish I would have joined all you guys, but I'm still hyped up as we talk about it. I'm still hyped. So good win for the Titans, man. Good win.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Big victory in the conference. Everybody thought we was going to lose that game. Of course, on your show last week, we both predicted an L, so we were both wrong. But hey, I'll take being wrong whenever I pick them to lose.
Exactly. I already went on my post game. I apologize, but I'm glad that I was wrong. Absolutely. So let's break the Titans versus Texans game down. All right. For the injury report, I think it was Thursday. A lot of players didn't practice. I mean, it was a good majority of the team didn't practice, which, it happens like on Thursday, soreness whatsoever. We have people from the COVID list back on, which is very important. Adam Humphries, Jeffrey Simmons, Isaiah Wilson, Christian Fulton, they're off the COVID list, and they were practicing. The only thing that kind of worries me is Dory Jackson. He practiced on the sideline yesterday.
Right.
And do you have any idea what's happening with him or anything?
I wouldn't expect him back. He's still on the injured reserve list, so he hasn't been activated to the 53. Okay. So I would expect hopefully he'll be back next week for Pittsburgh, because we'll definitely need him for the Steelers. So I think another week on the sideline for Dory.
Okay, and especially if the team can play like they did last game. I mean, you had some – secondary. You had like second team come in, and they looked like they were synced. Like it was the best defense effort so far this season.
Yeah, no doubt. We were able to force turnovers,
exactly.
And then the offense was able to turn those turnovers into points. I think we were 5 for 5 or 6 for 6 and 6 for 6 in the red zone.
Yep.
So that's excellent job by the offense and the defense and the special teams, putting the offense in short fields and things of that nature. So a great effort by the defense. Buffalo had a lot of yards. They converted a lot of third downs. We talked about last week that third down conversion rate is still high, and that still worries me. The Bills were 13 for 17 on third down, but we got those 2 big turnovers from Malcolm Butler that kind of switched everything, and that really helped us out of some jams where it looks like Buffalo was going to go down and get points.
Yeah, we really need to work on especially the third down conversion. I mean, there was times where it's 3rd and 15 and they still got it. I mean, especially playing against Deshaun Watson, we really need – I mean, they have some deep threats as well. They have Kenny Stills. They have Will Fuller. He'd always.
Yes, he's always a problem. And they also have Brandon Cooks now. Brandon Cooks had a good game last week against Jacksonville for them. So
Yep.
Him and Deshaun are starting to kind of get that connection going. It took them a while to kind of get in sync. Of course, they had the coaching change that you mentioned in the open. So, they're a new ball club. This will not be an easy game. Guys, please don't expect
Yep.
a 30-point blowout. I would be shocked if we got a 30-point blowout. You rarely see those in division games. We struggled with Jacksonville early this season in a divisional game, and Houston is always tough. When they're fully healthy and when they have Deshaun Watson at quarterback, they're a very dangerous offensive ball club. They have a quartet of receivers that are very good. They struggle in the running game just like Buffalo did. So we have to make them one-dimensional, make them throw underneath, hope Deshaun makes a couple of mistakes, but we cannot take this team lightly.
Definitely. And regardless of the record, I know I was joking around with the record in the beginning of the show with it saying 1-4 and stuff, but still, I mean, it's happened before where what was it that year we played the Colts and they were like zero. They didn't win a game and they were the only team that they beat against. I mean, it happens all the time. Division team doesn't matter. We need to we really need to stick it to them and keep. That was one thing I remember saying about the Buffalo game. It was halftime. We have to go back out on the field and pretend like the game is 0-0 and start all over again and not play kind of just like that, kill the clock and just play it safe like that. We just got to keep scoring touchdowns. And that's why I think me and Mark talked, and Mark said it. He didn't like the QB sneak and stuff. I loved it. I was like, I'd rather,
I did too.
I didn't want them to go for, I was really upset if they were going to go for a field goal. I'm like, no, just keep jamming it down their throat. And the fact that they went for a fourth down, I was like, it just shows that mentality, that toughness, and they just kept, and then they scored again. So again, it's not like, hey, we're just trying to kill time and score a little, 3 points. We don't want 3 points. We want 6 points. So I was really happy about that. The only thing I need to talk to you about is, unfortunately, Darren Tevins is now on the IR. I think it was a hamstring. You think you're going to see more McNichols and didn't Dante, what's his name?
Deontay Foreman.
There we
Deontay
go.
Foreman, former Houston Texan, former Texas Longhorn. He should be activated to the 53 on Sunday as the third running back. From all reports that I've gotten, he's looked great in practice, especially during the time when a lot of guys were on the COVID list. He was able to pick up the slack a little bit. And then, of course, we did a great job limiting Derrick Henry on Tuesday. He only carried the ball 19 times for 57 yards. So I would expect a heavy dose of Derrick Henry this week. Houston has one of, I think, a bottom 3 rush defense. So, I mean, they're one of the worst rush defenses in the NFL. They lost their starting middle linebacker, Broderick McKinney. He's on IR. And the Texans are a team that does not have a lot of quality depth on their roster at the linebacker position. Zach Cunningham, he's always a terror. He's a tackling machine, but he's not good in coverage. Brandon McKinney was the guy that was able to cover backs out of the backfield, and he's also their signal caller on defense, kind of like Rashad Evans is for us. So they're missing their key piece in the middle of that defense, and the Titans have to find a way to exploit it.
Definitely. And another thing I forgot to mention was also that Daquan Jones didn't practice yesterday or today. So are you worried about Daquan Jones? I know the injury was his foot.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about it at this point. Still got, as we're taping this on Friday night, still got about 48 hours to kick off, or about 40 hours to kick off, with it being a noon start. So not surprised that he missed a lot of time because of COVID. He came right back to the team right before the game on Tuesday. So without having any practice time, I'm hoping that he just needed some extra time to get rest. But even if he does not play, Jack Crawford, who we got as a free agent from Atlanta. He's done a nice job filling in for both Simmons and Daquan Jones when he's had to. He doesn't make the splash plays. He's not going to get in the backfield. He's not going to make the big hit, but he does a good job of occupying those offensive linemen that allows Jaylen Brown and Rashard Evans and Darren Bates to come up and make those tackles when needed.
Definitely, definitely. All right, let's break this down. Let's do the 3 keys of winning the game. What do the Tennessee Titans need to beat the Houston Texans?
Well, first of all, you just have to play sound football, not make a lot of penalties, don't have any silly turnovers. Last year in the game in Nashville, we had the big interception at the goal line. It looked like we were going in for a touchdown. The ball pops up in the air. Whitney Merciless catches it, goes the other way, and that changed the entire tenor of that ball game. The game on Tuesday night worked in the opposite for us. Buffalo came in as the favorites. They had an early interception by Malcolm Butler, and that changed the entire tenor of that ball game. So special teams and turnovers can turn an underdog into a live dog and put them on top. We were a big underdog to Buffalo. Houston is a 3-point underdog to us. So we can't have any turnovers and we can't have any special team lapses that allows them to get a big return.
Definitely. Another key to that is, like you said, their run defense is horrible. And the good thing was that we didn't really need to use Derrick Henry that much. And we did. It was because of the turnover battle, just the field of position where all he had to do was, run a couple, what's it called? Just run a couple times. Yeah, just for a touchdown. It was nothing crazy. It was, like you said, he had how many carries?
Yeah, 19
for 57. I mean, right. So at the same time, I think he'll be ready, especially that stiff arm. That's oh man. Oh God, it was beautiful. It was an instant meme, man. It was just like all of a sudden it was just everywhere. So again, I think another thing, we just need to attack Deshaun Watson. He needs to not be comfortable at all.
Yes.
At all. Because guess what? Josh Allen, there were guys open in the Buffalo game. He overthrew them or they didn't catch it. But if they did, it would have been a different ball game. So
absolutely. That would be my number 2 key, as you mentioned. Mm-hmm. We got to get pressure on Deshaun Watson, but not only get pressure on him, we have to get 3 or 4 sacks in this ball game. Clowney has to be big. We still haven't seen Vic Beasley make an impact at all. He's been on the field, but he hasn't made an impact. This is a game that Beasley needs to make his presence felt. Harold Landry got a sack, his first sack of the season on Tuesday night against Buffalo. We need him to be active in the backfield. But we all know that Deshaun Watson is a magician. He finds ways to get out of trouble that no other quarterback in the league can get out of, including Patrick Mahomes, and then he'll make plays downfield. And we know how our secondary has really struggled to stop guys on, as you mentioned, a few more, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15. Quarterbacks have still been able to complete passes downfield. That's the one area of the ball game that really, really concerns me. You have to keep Deshaun Watson contained. You can't let him get outside and make plays. He's going to make 1 or 2 because he's a great quarterback, and that's what great quarterbacks do. But you have to limit his ability to make plays downfield when the play breaks down.
Definitely. And I believe the second touchdown that Josh Allen threw at the end of in the back of the end zone where, he had all the time in the world. And that's all you can do for coverage. It's not coverage's fault. You try guarding someone for about 30 seconds. That's too much time for a quarterback and for a wide receiver to get open. And that's why he was wide open, in the end zone. So again, we definitely really do need to get on him automatically from the start. I know Clowney's going to play good. I believe he's going to be a breakout player. He was missing. He was so close of getting a sack, man, the Buffalo game. It was so close. But the missed tackles were very ugly, and I think it had to do with practice. There was a lot of people missing. Kenny Vaccaro missed a lot of tackles. They were open. And they just never wrapped up Josh Allen. I really thought that Harold Landry didn't have that sack. I thought he was gonna break free.
Yeah,
It really looked like he was gonna get free, and luckily he wrapped him up by the waist. But again, getting Deshaun Watson is key.
yeah.
And
You have to have sound. You have to be sound. You have to stay in your gaps. You can't be over aggressive, and you just got to keep him in the pocket some way, somehow. And when you get your arms around him, you really got to hold him and bring him down, or wait till you get some help, because he's a slender dude, but he's very strong and he's very elusive.
yeah, definitely. And the third key to winning this game, I would say it would be our secondary. Our secondary needs to show up, just because if you remember that game you just talked about in Nashville, where the ball popped up and the guy picked it off, who had a very surprising but effective game was Kenny Stills.
Yes.
Kenny Stills, because there was so much focus on Will Fuller, and obviously they had D-Hop at the same time, that they kind of left him alone, and he was going off.
Yes.
They can't forget about Kenny Stills.
Yeah.
And that's
we did a good job against Buffalo. Now, Buffalo was missing one of their key receivers in Josh Brown. They still had Stephon Diggs, and we were able, even though I think he caught 10 or 11 passes,
for 106
they
yards.
were all underneath. We didn't let him get deep over the top. Jonathan Joseph, keep an eye on him. He's an ex-Texan. They let him go this offseason. He did not play well last year as a Houston Texan. He's done a credible job so far for us in replacing a Dory. But he's not very fast. He's very good at underneath coverage, but anything deep downfield, he no longer has that speed. So we have to keep a safety over the top, whether that's either Hooker, who's in a nickel situation, or if that's Vaccaro or Bayard. One of those guys is going to always have to be over the top to protect Jonathan Joseph, because the Texans still have fast receivers. Brandon Cooks is very fast. Stills has good speed. And, of course, we know what Will Fuller can do when he's healthy. So that's the one area, again, if Deshaun escapes and runs around for 5 or 6 seconds and allows those guys to get deep downfield, that could be a problem for us. So we just have to make sure we implement that same game plan. They're going to drive the ball. They're going to score some points. But you take away their running game, because they're one of the worst teams in the league in rushing the football. I think they only average like 80 yards a game on the ground. They obviously thought David Johnson had something left, and he has really not a lot left. I mean, if he has a huge hole to run through, but he's not going to create any opportunities if you hit him at the line of scrimmage. So
thank you, Bill, by the way.
Yeah, thank you for that. So we don't have to worry about DeAndre Hopkins, thank goodness. But we have to be fearful of Cooks and Fuller going over the top.
Definitely. So let's get into some predictions here. All right, this is the fun part. All right, who do you think is going to be the player of the game? Who's going to make that impact? Who do you have prediction wise? Go ahead.
It has to be our offensive line. If the offensive line does not produce this game, we should have 150 yards rushing the football this week. Derrick Henry should be over 100 yards this week. Again, they're going against a defense without their starting middle linebacker, and even with their starting middle linebacker, they were like the 30th ranked rush defense in the NFL. So I'm putting this on Taylor Lewan, Roger Saffold, Ben Jones, David Kelly, those guys up front. They have got to win the line of scrimmage. Derrick Henry cannot be getting hit at the line of scrimmage as soon as he touches the football. He should not have contact until he's at least 3 or 4 yards into their defense, where he can get ahead of steam and start ripping off those 15, 20-yard runs.
Okay. So what do you think the score is going to be?
I have the final score at 30-27. I think it's going to be a lot closer game than people think. I think the Titans will have a comfortable lead in the fourth quarter, maybe like 30-20, 30-17. I think the Texans make a late run, maybe get a backdoor cover with a late touchdown, and then try to get an onside kick or something like that to try to tie the ball game up late. But I think the Titans hold a comfortable 7 to 10 point lead for most of the ball game. I think the Texans make a run late, but I think we hold on and win it 30-27.
30-27. I'm going to go with 28-24 Tennessee Titans.
Okay, you see it as a close game as well.
I do, of course. Yeah. Again, division games, regardless of the record, doesn't mean anything. It's a division game, and I had us when the first schedule came out. I think I went on live saying that I think we're going to split. I think we either going to beat the Texans. I don't think we're going to sweep the Texans, but we will win one of the games against them. So.
Okay. It's a big game. We got to win it. It's a division game. It's a chance to go 5-0.
5-0.
Yeah, there's only 4 undefeated teams left. So you can't lose a home game to a team that's 1-4 in the division or out of division. You just gotta, they had a full 7 days rest. We only have 4 days rest. But we got to find a way to pull this victory out.
Yeah, the only thing that worries me now is that it's it's basically a brand new team that just came back to life. Because like you said, Bill O'Brien's not there, unfortunately, my favorite GM, so he's not there. So now it's just like it's just like a start of the new. And again, we've seen them go before. We've seen them go and just go on these stretches where they just start winning games, and that's not what you want,
Right. Yeah, you want to go ahead and kill that confidence right now. Kill that confidence, because they beat Jacksonville. If they turn around and beat us, then they start to get confidence in themselves, like, hey, we've done it before. We can do it again. And they love Romeo Crennel, their interim coach. They love him. He's been there for a long time as an assistant. And the locker room really loves that guy. They play hard for him, and they're going to play hard for him. J.J. Watt and those guys up front, and they got they have a very questionable secondary. So we hope that A.J. Brown can have a big game. Adam Humphries, as you mentioned, will be back. Jonnu Smith will also be very important in this ball game as well. Without a quality backup running back, again, Deontay Foreman should be there. McNichol should be there. But Jonnu Smith may be the guy that gets some of those carries or gets some of those screen passes when Derrick Henry is on the bench on, say, those third down situations.
Well, definitely. And we'll see, man. I'm really excited. The only thing that's good, it's not good for the team, is just that, we just finished playing Tuesday, and here in a couple of days we're about to play again, and we could possibly go 5-0. I'm more than stoked. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our breakdown. I hope you guys enjoy it. Ken Moore, thank you again for showing up again. Like always, it's been amazing. It's been fun.
No problem. And guys, as you mentioned, go follow me on Twitter at KMoore Sports, and then on Instagram at Kenmore Sports as well. So got a lot of great content, and looking forward to it. Let's go 5-0, baby.
Let's go 5-0. Tighten up, man.
Tighten up.